For more on Tesla and other giant valuations we're seeing in tech, let's bring in the Dean of Valuations, NYU's Aswath Damodoran. Professor, it's great to have you. Thanks for joining us.
Glad to be back.
So we've got a lot to get to, but let's start with Tesla, especially given the fact that we got the secondary offering today. Stock's up 87% just since the start of the year. What's your take on it right now, especially as someone who has owned shares in the past?
Unlike Charlie, I bought Tesla I think at the right price. I would buy any stock. So the notion that you would never buy a stock strikes me as strange. That said, though, for this stock to justify the price, you need to tell a really, really big story. The way I would describe it is you need to give it Volkswagen-like revenues, $300 billion in about 10 years. You need to give it margins like Apple, and you need to have a company that invests like no other manufacturing company has before. Can it pull it off? It's plausible. And I'm glad they're finally acting according to that big story, going out and raising money. In fact, I agree, they should raise a lot more money because they will need it to make that story come true.
Okay, it could be plausible, but in the meantime, the giant move we've seen in shares, despite things like what Phil just mentioned, that SEC inquiry, some of the issues in China, given the coronavirus concerns playing out there, et cetera, is the stock run in the near term sustainable?
I think it's run up too much. I mean, that's why I sold. I sold way too soon. I sold at 640. But, I think the stock at its current price, the story is almost, people are pricing in the expectation that the story is going to come true. And there are lots of barriers along the way that the company has to overcome. And that would be my concern at paying the current price.
Aswath, I guess I'm wondering, just take the price action today. SEC subpoena, you guide CapEx expenses higher, as Phil just said. You recall 15,000 models. You have a $2 billion secondary. You're up 10% from the pre-market lows. That breaks all the rules, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. And I describe Tesla as my corporate teenager. Every day I wake up and, it's got lots of potential. And I say, what can I do today to screw it all up? That's not going to change today. It's not going to change next week. This company has immense potential, but there'll be things that show up and say, what the heck are they doing? So, but when you have when you have a story stock and the mood is right, it doesn't really matter what the fundamentals are. People are going to push up the price. And that's scary if you're an investor, but if you're a trader, this is your bread and butter. You make money on trading, and this is a traded stock. It's not an invested stock.